Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
All right, Americans for Prosperity have announced a $20 million campaign spanning all 50 states to urge Congress to renew the Tax Cuts and Job Act. You may remember this. This is the Donald Trump's tax cuts that went in effect and helped Americans across the board. Yes, our friends in the media and their Democrats will scream, but it only helped out the wealthy, which is not true. It went to people who actually pay taxes. See how that works? That's how it works, folks. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to understand, but that's how this whole situation is supposed to work out. So, folks, listen to me and listen to me good. They need to approve these tax cuts. $2,127 per Alabama family, the loss of 9,000 jobs if it expires. That's just the simple fact of the matter. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to need you to count me down because I still can't hear anything when it comes to these. So count me in. Thank you very much.
Number 6.
The House of Representatives passed the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act by a 218 to 206 vote, with all Republicans and 2 Texas Democrats supporting it. While most Democrats opposed it, the bill aims to restrict male participation in female sports, but Democrats, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, somehow are suggesting, are you ready for this? They're suggesting a very odd argument that this somehow opens up women to predatory behavior, which makes zero sense, makes no sense, and nobody in their right mind would actually make this argument, but it is an argument being made for some reason by people in Congress, and that, my friends, makes absolutely no sense, nor should it make any sense to anyone.
Number 5.
House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican of Louisiana, announced that flags at the U.S. Capitol will be raised to full staff on January 20th to honor President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, despite Biden's 30-day half-staff order for former President Jimmy Carter's death. Johnson emphasized the need to unite the country during the presidential transition, with flags returning to half-staff the following day. Texas Governor Greg Abbott directed those flags at the Capitol at the state Capitol be raised for the inauguration, as well as did Governor Kay Ivey here in the great state of Alabama. She did the exact same thing, and people are trying to make sure that this happens across the board. And I say kudos to them. Good job to them. Well done by them. Make this happen. Stop with this nonsense. It is not a good thing. It is not a good thing at all to keep these flags down on Inauguration Day. This is the right move.
Number 4.
At Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing for Defense Secretary, Senator Tommy Tuberville, Republican of Auburn, criticized woke policies, specifically DEI training, for negatively affecting military recruitment. Sharing personal stories of young people rejecting service opportunities, which is happening, Hegseth echoed Tuberville's concerns, promising to eliminate divisive policies and streamline Pentagon leadership to focus on frontline readiness under Trump's leadership. He also defended his past controversial remarks and allegations, calling them a smear campaign against his efforts to reform the military culture, as Senator Markwayne Mullin, a Republican of Oklahoma, criticized Democratic senators for hypocrisy in questioning Hegseth's qualifications and personal integrity, going as far as to say, haven't some of you guys shown up to vote when you're drunk? That actually happened. That was an interesting moment. Not a great moment, but interesting.
Number 3.
A federal lawsuit filed by the University of Alabama professors, UAB students, and the Alabama NAACP challenges Alabama's anti-DEI law, asserting it violates the First and 14th Amendments, which it does neither, by the way. It restricts free speech, which it does not, and does something to equal protection, which is not true. It's actually the opposite. These DEI offices went out of their way to offer special privileges to you based on your race or your gender or who you want to have sex with or how you identify or whatever the hell is going on in these people's worlds. Well, the plaintiffs argue that the law censors classroom discussions, which it doesn't, on racial discrimination and has led to the closure of DEI offices. Well, that's true because, you're not allowed to have DEI in Alabama. That's how it works. But here we go. There's a lawsuit here. Go to the Supreme Court and fight this out. And when it wins, wipe this scourge off the planet.
Number 2.
The Alabama legislature may be looking to take swift legislative action to support President-elect Trump's agenda on immigration reform, according to Alabama State Senator Garland Gudger, a Republican out of Coleman, who emphasized the need to protect Alabama citizens from the impacts of illegal immigration. He argued that the failed policies on the federal level have turned every state into a border state, which is true, and stressed the importance of collaboration with federal authorities, which is also needed on this issue. Garland Gudger clarified that the reforms aim to target illegal immigration specifically while supporting those who have followed proper legal channels. That's another part of this that we don't really think about and talk about enough. When we allow illegal immigration, those who have done it right, those are the individuals that really get screwed at all of this when we reward people for breaking the rules. Unfortunately, we've done just that in this society, and Alabama should get on board changing that.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth is urging the Alabama legislature to get on the stick, folks, and do what they need to do. How do you do that? Well, it is quite simple. Emphasize and prioritize public safety by increasing funding for district attorneys' offices to address a surge in violent crime, including Birmingham's record-breaking homicide rates in 2024. Alabama House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter, a Republican out of Rainsville, has made it, I think, very, very clear to anyone that it's time that we actually do something. What they want to do, though, is very interesting. They're suggesting emphasizing collaboration with local leaders. That's true. That's good. They are also suggesting more pay for district attorneys so people will actually want to do those jobs. A pre-filed bill by Reed Ingram, a Republican out of Montgomery, proposes allowing the governor or attorney general to appoint police chiefs in cities facing severe crime spikes. Now, I like these plans. I like that. We talked about the takeover of police departments and things like that. There's a lot of hesitation about that and a lot of questioning on whether or not that's the right thing for everyone to do here. But I would argue what's happening right now in some of these cities is not good. Montgomery, let's talk about the increased collaboration. That has worked there. That's what's happened. That has worked out for them. So maybe we should consider that in more places. Birmingham, looking at you. And the places that don't do that, well, maybe the attorney general, the governor, should appoint someone that's actually going to do the job. Oh, Birmingham, I'm looking at you. And that's what I think people are talking about, and that's what people are concerned about. So there you go. Those are the 7 things you should be talking about today. You may weigh in, voice your opinions on those things, and get your questions in for 10 with him at the end of the program. You give me about 10 questions. I'll give you about 10 answers. How do you do that? Well, quite simply, 866-494-WVNN, scoutpestcontrol.com. That's who you need to talk to there. That's the scoutpestcontrol.com WVNN hot take text line. All you got to do is get your questions in right there. 866-494-WVNN. You can also email me.
You've got mail.
Dale at WVNN.com. Get those questions, get those thoughts in right now, and we'll get some of your answers at the end of the program. It's that simple. We'll be right back right here on WVNN.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 things you should be talking about today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.